Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
To make sure the audio works again.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive. Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, did your Roomba just get smarter? And are you considered a perennial? And the safest place to shop for food now. And only one thing can save us now through all this pandemic and all this bad news and everything that's going on. And that's more Joe Exotic. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on DeaconLive. How are you? How are things? How are things going? I know. I feel for you. I feel for everybody out there. There's so much chaos, so much mayhem. There's so much death. I hate to say it, death and destruction all in the same sense. But hopefully, give us an hour. We'll take your mind off of that here at DeaconLive, and that's what we do. And one thing that helps you and helps us here is we do a big stretch. And arms above the head. Breathe it all in. Leave it at the front door. Leave it at the back door. Just leave it for the next 60 minutes or so, and we'll take care of you. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about some things going on in my life, things going on in your life, and everything in between that kind of connects us all together. So, yep, still stuck at home, still doing the Corona thing, still, my wife's still working from her home office here. I do the show from our the Queen City studio, which is on our ranch here, 22 some odd acre ranch. We have a finished above the garage, just about 800 square foot. It's completely insulated. It's all wired for microphones, XLR cables. No one uses those anymore, Deacon. Headphone jacks. And everything's here. So we're still here at the French and broadcasting the radio station and the DeaconLive podcast here at the French. I know it's exciting, right? But we're still stuck. I say stuck. We're allowed to go out. We're allowed to go shopping and stuff. But here in North Carolina, we're just outside of Charlotte, actually, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Now, here in Charlotte, my wife was watching the news the other day, and our governor is Roy Cooper. And, the gymnasiums aren't open anymore or aren't open still. And I've been trying to lose, the COVID-19 and stuff. And I'm trying to lose 50 pounds before we go on vacation at the end of next month. So I've been playing basketball and stuff. But here at the French, my wife was watching the Roy Cooper. And for whatever reason, she really doesn't get political with me. Not that she can't. I think we just know that both of us agree and disagree on several different things, which is fine. I mean, yin to your yang. And she looked at Roy Cooper and he was talking about everyone in North Carolina needs to wear a mask. Everyone needs to, protect you from your loved ones and protect yourself. You might be killing grandma. You might be killing your aunt, your daughters, it's weird, family members. You might be killing them. Jesus, Roy, give it a rest. But she looks at him. And she goes, I really don't care for him. And now Roy Cooper is a Democrat. And she's like, oh, is he? Before I completely jump off the gun, Roy Cooper. Let's see. Hold on. Let's find this out. And you can watch this. Every podcast that we have has a live video. So you can see exactly what I'm doing here on the screen, on the monitor. It's all meld together. And you can find that on Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. He is Republican, Democrat. Roy Cooper, is he a Democrat? Oh, yes. So there you go. He's a member of the Democratic Party. Born in 1957, June 13, 1957. All right. So Roy Cooper, and she looks at him, and you can look at him right here. Let me get some images up so you can look at him. She's like, he looks like a, let's see if I can find a picture of him. He doesn't look like what North Carolina people look like. Now, for example, I'm from Florida, born and raised in downtown Orlando, Florida. We had that one governor, Charlie Crist. Boy, did he look like a Florida governor. He was tan. He had that Greek background. His tan was nice and olive and stuff. But this guy, Roy Cooper, he just looks kind of like a pushover, my wife said. He's like, yeah, I don't like him. And I agree with the mask and stuff, but there they go. So as we're sitting at the table, or the island in the kitchen, and we're watching Roy Cooper up there, we're having breakfast and stuff, and I looked at my wife. Now, granted, she works from home. She doesn't have to do the Zoom, like physically have to be on camera or anything. So she's got her glasses, her Hot for Teacher glasses on, and she's got, I used to have to wear a uniform. A couple years ago when I left Home Depot, I worked for another paper and packaging company, and they gave you uniforms. So, everyone looked the same, militant. And so I had some like T-shirts, the warehouse work, T-shirts and stuff. And so I don't wear them anymore, of course, So my wife, they fit my wife perfectly, nice and big and fluffy and comfortable, and they're soft. And she puts her shirt on for the morning, and I look at her shirt, and this is actually last Thursday or Friday, and I mentioned something to her about it before, and I go, how many days you going on that shirt there, babe? She's like, why? I go, I'm just asking. She's like, I don't know. It's comfortable. I like it. And now, granted, I've got a whole closet full of them. I've got a whole drawers full of old T-shirts from this warehouse. And she goes, I like it. And I look at her and I go, have you looked at it lately? She's like, why? What are you saying? And I go, you ever seen kids at daycare? And, you drop them off and, they're all day through daycare and they're eating and they're playing and they're doing things, and then they take a nap and then they wake up and all this stuff. I said, your shirt, it's got everything on it from the last 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, however long you've been wearing that shirt. I said, you've got a daycare shirt on. She's like, what do you mean? I said, it's a daycare. Look, what's that right there? She's like, I was eating a nacho and some of the salsa dripped on me. Okay, what's that over there? Oh, I was taking a sip of my coffee. The same day? No, the other day. And the coffee, it dribbled. It was hot, so I dribbled it over here. I'm like, what's that over there? Oh, I was petting the horse outside. I took a break and walked outside and pet the horse, and I wiped my hand on my shirt. So she's got like these, dirty fingerprints kind of slid across the front of her chest. I go, babe, you've got a daycare shirt on. And then she looked at me, Kettle. Hello, Kettle. And she said, well, look at those shorts you're wearing. Now I've got these really, really nice. I mean, real nice. 100% cotton. They're nice. They're like sweat shorts. The ones that say juicy on the back, but mine don't say juicy on the back. But women, you know what I'm talking about as far as sweat shorts. And I like them. They're nice. They're right above the knee. There's a lot of room for a lot of action in there. And if you look at my shorts, because I walk around without a shirt on, I'm in and out of the house all day long, you can see where I've eaten something and wiped it on my leg. So she's like, look at your leg, it's orange. I said, well, and they're white, not white shorts, they're like a tie-dye shorts. I go, wow, that's the pattern. No, it's not. It's not the pattern. You've got orange cheese doodles on your, I said, no, babe, I'm on a diet. Well, how old are those cheese doodles then? She's like, I'm like, I don't know. They're comfortable. All right, I'll wash them. You wash your shirt, I'll wash my shorts. But I mean, those are the kind of things that when you're caught in an enclosed environment and you're living with someone and you're with them 24 hours a day. Well, I mean, these are the little things that I don't know if they bother you or anything. I just noticed them like, God, daycare t-shirt and my daycare sweatshorts. All right, when we come back, this is a prime topic because people are living together, staying at home more often. They're calling this group of people a perennial. These couples that are coming out from this whole pandemic, or actually are still in the pandemic, and we'll dive into that here a little bit more when we come back. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. This segment's brought to you by the Go Run Foundation, a nonprofit organization conducting a virtual run for the benefit of the Color of Change, the national organization, nation's largest online racial injustice organization, and to partner to fight the end of social injustice. To participate in this virtual run, participants will register online as they would for a regular race by going to gorunfoundation.org. All proceeds, it's $40 to register. All proceeds go to the Color of Change, nation's largest online racial injustice organization and partner to fight to end social injustice. Now, join Deacon Live and all them as we do this as well, because I've been trying to lose weight. As you guys know, I'm down 14 pounds. Thank you very much. I'm down 14 pounds. I've been playing basketball, shooting the hoops, as they say in the biz, putting the rock in the hole. What else do they say? Ducks on a pond, quack, quack, quack. I don't know. There's a couple other things out there. But yeah, I've been running around, and I've got my shirt on, and This is one of my vacation shirts. I know. Dunder Mifflin. But I was ragging on my wife because she had a daycare shirt on. Now, something that's coming out of this whole Corona thing, there's something called Corona cuffing. Are you familiar with this? Corona cuffing. The coronavirus isolation. Oh, God. This is so funny. Make sure you call us at the state. Oh, you know what? Let's start that whole segment over because that was horrible.
Welcome back to DeaconLive. Give us a call at the station at 407-448-8800. Texas anytime at the Queen City Studio, located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, and click on the social contacts. And while you're there, guess what, guys? You know, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm down 14 pounds, but let's do something together. And this segment's brought to you by the Go Run Foundation. And what it is a virtual run for the social injustice in our communities, in our nation. And all benefits goes to the color of change. And the way you do that, it's $40 to join. Go to GoRunFoundation.org. When you register, you'll get a nice little t-shirt, and there's prizes and medals and trophies and goals and stuff. It's one big, huge event, and you virtually run, I won't say around the world, but you can challenge your friends and stuff. And it's great, because when you run, you do a little thing on your app, and you upload it to the website, and they recognize it, and there's like a big leaderboard, you can see people in your area and stuff, so make sure you do that. The GoRunFoundation.org. It's a nonprofit organization, and all proceeds go to the Color Change, the nation's largest online racial justice organization, and help them fight social injustice. All right, so...
We are, virtual. Everyone's doing everything virtually at home. Everyone's being stuck together. There's pandemic, and people in other countries aren't even allowed to go outside. They're not. I say outside. They're not allowed to go shopping. To a certain point, they have to have like a waiver in some countries. I mean, you think you got it bad here. I want to go out. I want to drink beer. I want to go out and sit in a restaurant and eat overpriced nachos and have their daily specials. All the restaurants are doing what they can to just bring people in and have them separate. I'm friends with a whole bunch of local Dinaries? A whole bunch of establishments here in Marshville and the local neighboring cities and stuff. And, they're always posting physical pictures of their food, which is kind of weird. They always look like hostages or something. But they're posting pictures of their food. Come and get it. Today's special, that type of stuff. Now, something that's come out of this whole pandemic, everyone's got words for when two people get together, especially celebrities, what they call Brangelina or Bradgelina or whatever those, they kind of smash the things together. Well, the coronavirus is no stranger to having words smashed together, and right now they're calling these people out here that are finding love, finding true love. Well, I don't know if true love or not. They're calling them corrennials. The coronavirus isolation is creating new couples, and they're also the actual term they use is called cuffing. What do they call it? Cuffing, corona cuffing, like handcuffing stuff. The corona crisis is putting all of our relationships to the test, from working at home couples, juggling emails, children, unattached friends, trying to offer mutual support remotely, and at a time where many of us without partners feel even more single than ever. But some have really thrown themselves into this deep end, and they're navigating this new normal. The people have never previously lived or have been, or they just met. So these people that they're meeting, they either never lived with this person or they just met these person, and what they're doing is they're shacking up with them. Hey, I know we've only been on a couple dates. You live alone and I live alone. Let's shack up together during this whole pandemic. Some have called the trend corona cuffing. Others have dubbed these couples corrennials. Here's some of their love stories. Simon Lorenz, 33, and Tom McCaskin, 32, from New Zealand. After setting their Tinder profiles on a broader radius, whores, Simon and Tom, who usually live about 2 hours away from each other, matched 3 weeks before the whole month-long pandemic lockdown in New Zealand. They spontaneously decided to spend it together at Lorenz's house, following just after a couple dates. She said, "Go on, I wasn't sure," recalls Cashin, that's the guy. And their hurried decision-making, or Lauren remembers it as, your exact words were, "Don't throw me out into the apocalypse if this does not work." The couples are now, as they put it, having a blast. They're doing home workouts, drinking good wines, and according to Tom, having lots of cuddles and bath time. While trying to remain focused on their day jobs. Now, the main challenge is to avoid video calls at the same time, but it is also good that we actually talk about at work because they're both in the same field. So Tom and, what's her name? What did I say her name was? Simone. In New Zealand, one's a web designer, one's a graphic designer, but they're young. I mean, they're 33, 32. They're jumping in this together. Now, after the whole pandemic goes on, they drop the curtain and everyone can go out about their day. They said, well, we don't know if we're going to stay together or not. But this is a great crashing moment for testing a relationship. It's kind of like speed dating, but you're living in the house with them. Here's another couple, Rory and Carmen, 23 and 23, from Hong Kong. Oh, hello, Mr. Cartwright. They are backpackers who was from the Karen, who's from the Netherlands, and Rory, a Brit, just wrapped up 2 weeks in quarantine from a hotel in Hong Kong, had previously spent 6 days together. First, we were a little bit scared that we might not like it, says Carmen, but we have a good connection. The pair originally met in Cambodia and continued to travel separately, but they both rushed to Hong Kong as other places in the region began closing the borders. Rory, his parents already booked and paid for the hotel room in the city for the holiday, and had to cancel it due to all right. So he just moved to Hong Kong, 14-day quarantine period for tourists. And then Carmen landed the day after. So they said, you know what? The feelings are pretty strong at the moment, but we understand we're from different places, and this makes things more difficult when we leave and go back to our respective countries. But this is what's happening. The coronavirus is forcing you into, I say forcing you, people are trying to make, they're making split decisions. They're making quick, hurried decisions. I hate to say it, but, my wife and I, not that it was the same thing. I had a house in Orlando, and she lived in Volusia County, which is more towards Daytona Beach. And we were commuting back and forth. And I was like, you know what? I'm here all the time. You ladies, men, you've done the same thing. Here's my toothbrush. This is my, I'm hanging out with you now. And her house is a little bit bigger than mine was in Orlando. But still, we moved in. It took a couple years. But these people they've only met each other, hung out with each other, and established a relationship. Maybe within weeks, they're moving in together. And now because they're being forced to stay in these facilities because of the corona, because of the pandemic in these countries. Now, I don't think it's going to happen as much here in the United States because I don't want to say we're strict, but we're kind of lenient about going out and doing all that stuff. But I'd be afraid to meet someone new, dating or whatever in this era. What do you have to put? Is it Tinder that you do the swipe left, swipe right, whatever? You're going to have to put some kind of code on there, like. They say single white male, SWM, whatever the codes are. You're going to have to put whether you have antibodies, whether you have corona or corona free. So it's CF, antibodies. So you'd be AB, or if you actually have corona. But I think if you have corona, you're not really not getting down and dirty. You might die. On them, pass out. Well, I'm dead. And something else that's shaking it up out there. Hey, guess what, guys? There's a hurricane coming. So, here in the United States, talking about staying home and staying inside. Well, down in the Gulf of Mexico, heading towards Louisiana, heading towards Texas, is Laura. And as of about 30 minutes ago, Hurricane Laura, here's the latest update. And by the way, my name's Tim. It'll make sense. Watch.
Hi, Tim. Hello, everyone. Laura is clearly strengthening, and here's why. Take a look at this graphic. We're getting the development of a very clear eye. It's kind of like stirring a cup of coffee with a...
Now with the latest on where Laura is. Good afternoon, Chelsea.
Hi, Tim. Hello, everyone. Laura is clearly strengthening, and here's why. Take a look at this graphic. We're getting the development of a very clear eye. It's kind of like stirring a cup of coffee with a spoon. The quicker you stir it, you're going to get that little swirl in the middle. That's exactly what's happening with Laura. Right now, winds at 125 miles per hour. Storm surge expected to be anywhere from 15 to 20 feet in areas. That is catastrophic, with rainfall amounts anywhere from 10 to 15 inches as we head into the overnight hours tonight. We have the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. This was released at 11 o'clock this morning. And before it makes landfall, it is expected to strengthen to a Category 4 storm. And that is why we have a lot of hurricane warnings, tropical storm warnings, and before it makes landfall, it is expected to strengthen to a Category 4 storm. That is why we have a lot of hurricane warnings, tropical storm warnings, and storm surge watches that are in place. Just to put everything in perspective, when we look at something called the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Scale, I want to show you what a Category 4 storm is defined as. Winds 130 to 156 miles per hour. Woo! This is going to be something to watch.
Yes, it will be something to watch. So, New Orleans, they're halfway underground or halfway below the water level anyways. The sea table, the water line, what's the, you know what I'm talking about. But now we got this big, quote-unquote, maybe Category 4 hurricane. By the time you hear this podcast, it'll only make landfall. So, prayers and wishes and hopes and thoughts and feelings to everyone out there in the Louisiana, Texas area. I saw something on the Texas Facebook page, people talking about, they were talking about, now they're all making jokes on Twitter saying in Texas, now your quarantine water, go ahead and change that over to your hurricane water. This has been a public service announcement, and actually make sure it says, when you're getting products and stuff in Texas, they were like going only 4 packages of water per customer, and, all the list of stuff. And it actually says brisket, only 2 per customer. Yes, brisket. Because you can eat a shit ton of food. You cook up a brisket, that'll last you a good couple days. You got a family, kids and stuff, and hell yeah, let's get some brisket. Thank God we went hunting with Jimmy Joe over there and got some deer and stuff. We got enough venison in that freezer. We'll fire up that generator and we can get this thing going. God damn, they burn the stew. Right? There you go. But, hopefully everything will be good for the most part. And everyone, I don't want to say it. I'm not saying it. I'm not going to say the H word. I'm not going to say the HD word, the hunkered down. I'm not going to say it. All right. Well, I hope everyone gets through it with minimal damage as possible. All right. When we come back, we'll dive a little bit more in the show. See, I told you everything's going to be good. We're all going to have fun here on Deacon Live. Stick around. We'll dive more into the show when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call at the station anytime at 407-448-8800. I got to slow that down a little bit. I had someone complain about it. Is it 880? What's the last number? It's 407-448-8800. You can text us anytime. You can email me too. Also, at deacon@prophetradio.com. You can actually upload pictures. You can share us a thought. You can share us a thing. Now, if you physically you don't want to call, you don't want to go on the air, that's fine. If you want to record a message, go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the Be Heard section. There's a little blue bar at the bottom of your screen, depending on what kind of computer system you got going on. You click on that, opens up a microphone. You talk right into it. It shoots it right here to the station, and we'll play it. You can talk about past podcasts if you want. If you're talking about something that happened 2 years ago on the podcast, by all means, let me know what's going on. We'll talk about it here on the show. So, and that's the way technology is. Now, my wife, she has gotten on, when she doesn't have her daycare shirt on, she's gotten into this whole mini game systems. Have you guys got some of these? Now, she did little baby steps. Like, she bought the Nintendo. What they've done is they've taken this Nintendo, the regular Super Nintendo, or the regular Nintendo, and they've shrunk it down. They've stuck 30 games on it. And some of them have 700 and some odd games on them. But you've got to crack the code and download it and stuff. I'm working on that. I'm working on it. But she's gotten the regular Nintendo. So she plays the Zelda and Mario and all the regular Nintendo games on that. And then she's like, oh, this is so cool. I remember Sega Genesis. All right. So she gets the Sega Genesis one. That was $50, $60. The other one was I think $80. And then she's like, oh my God, they've got a Super Nintendo. Yes, they do, babe. And you know what? The Super Nintendo is the coolest one out of all of them. It's ranked number 1 out of all the other mini systems that are out there, even the mini PlayStation, the original PlayStation, because they got shitty games on it. And they rate it number 1 because it's got the coolest games on it that you played. The Super Nintendo, it was cutting edge. And that thing was over $200 and something. But, I know, $200 and something. But we got the extended cords, so we have this long 12-foot cord. I know, why don't you get the wireless? Baby steps, right? Baby steps. And she sits there and plays. That's her Sunday morning as we're drinking coffee and not watching the sun come up. She's like, can I play my game for a little bit? Sure, babe, go ahead and play your game. So she hooks up the Super Nintendo and she's playing Donkey Kong, Family, and what's the other one that she plays? Zelda, Golden something. There's a bunch of them on there. I saw one. I was like, ooh, I remember that. Let's play that. But technology, they can, the Nintendos, the Super Nintendos were so big. Now they're so small. They've shrunk everything down and made it minuscule. for you to play at home. Now, we also, something that helps us out here at the French, we've got 30, almost, I'm not going to tell you the square footage of the house, but we have a lot of wooden floors, a lot of area to cover. And I take care of the house. I take care of the inside of the house, outside of the house, cobwebs, mopping, doing all that stuff. But something that helps me out a lot is we have an iRobot or a Roomba. We've got 3 of them. I know what you're saying, baller. But we do. We have one for the bedroom, one for one side of the house, one for the other side of the house, and one for the main living quarters where the dogs lay and stuff. And that's the one that gets the most work. Now, according to CNN Business, your robot vacuum is getting a big upgrade. Roomba's parent company, iRobot, announced Tuesday they're giving all of its robot a genius software update. You can now set areas in your home where the Roomba should go and should not go. These areas are particularly messier and need more frequent cleaning, even in times of house cleanings when you're not at home. Roomba is touting this upgrade as a major innovation that makes the devices smarter and more customizable. It's also a way for the company to distinguish itself against the growing number of competitors offering cheap alternatives. There's a couple I think there's one called Patty where it's a square bot instead of a round one. There's a couple other robot knockoffs. And when they say vacuum, they are using that term very loosely. It's not a vacuum. It's a friction. Your mom used to have it. Your mom used to have it. It was a small square tin box with a metal handle. I'm talking 70s here, with a metal handle on it. And when you rolled it, the brushes would spin underneath in opposite direction. It was a friction, motion. You know what I'm talking about. Friction, and the things would basically just, as the bristles would spin, would pick up whatever it was. And that's what the Roomba does. Roomba's got almost like a rubber paddle on one side and then fibrous ones with hairs on it on the other side. And both of those spin opposite each other and pick up. So it's not quote unquote a vacuum. Now, it does have a little fan on the back. It kind of sucks up dust and stuff, and you got to clean that filter out. But still, unlike other smart home devices such as Nest thermostats and Philips Hue light bulbs, Roomba cleaners previously lacked automated routines and scheduling until of this update. Now mine, I can schedule it. I schedule it for 9 o'clock every day. It goes around. So the upgrade brings much needed feature to the Roomba robot to get it up to speed for the rest to connect to the device world. Existing robot customers will get a new feature from the free software update on Tuesday. The iRobot home app has been redesigned. Great, I just got a new one, and I got to redesign or upload something else to it now. All right, well, there you go. It connects with Wi-Fi and other iHeart, see where my mind's at, iRobot products. iRobot Genius unlocks the full potential and connects to other products, giving them the ability to even get more smarter over time. Over-the-air updates, says the chairman and CEO of iRobot. Now, here's the thing. If they get any smarter, then they're going to start fighting each other, and you're going to have battle bots running around. They're going to be fighting over territories. If you got multiple, like I do, I have multiple Roombas in the room, they're going to be fighting over territories. Get out of here. What are you doing? I'm over here. You're in my space. Get out of my space. And they're going to figure out a way to fire something at each other. I don't know. It's just saying, there's a reason why the Terminator 2 and Terminator 3 were big hit movies. The evolution of robots and stuff. But yeah, iRobot's getting an upgrade. I don't know. I got one that's about 5 years old, 6 years old, something like that. I don't know how they're going to upgrade that. I'll have to read more. I'll have to read more about it when it comes out. Well, it came out this past Tuesday, so I have to read the article that just came out, not the one I just read. All right, stick around. When we come back, I know it's scary going out there shopping and stuff. But there are a lot of places. I gave Walmart a bad rep as far as their coronavirus headquarters, in my opinion. But this news report released the top 5 places that are the best place. They're doing the best care they can for grocery shopping and keeping you safe and its employees safe. And we'll dive into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. This segment's brought to you by Rodoli Roach Traps. Now that we're all home more often and, you know, run the Roombas and stuff, and we're all in our little secure place, there's one thing that still penetrates through the walls, through our little bubble, and that's roaches. No one wants a stranger exterminator running through like Dale Dribble, spraying the house and stuff, and run the risk of bringing the coronavirus inside the little bubble and going outside to shop and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Well, we're taking that all out of your hands right now. All you have to go to is Rodoli.com and buy where you can find all the Rodoli products. The Cockroach of Doom Patrol. Rodoli is 100% organic. When used as directed, can eliminate roaches for up to 1 year. Buy online at Rodoli.com with bags of 6, 12, or 24 organic biscuits. Find their roach blog and Twitter page at ProfitRadio.com. I know you think roach or Twitter page and a blog page about roaches. It's interesting. It's an interesting read. It's kind of like doing a National Geographic on roaches. So make sure you follow them and order some. And they're small. They're little. They look like little rice cakes, about the size of a $50. And you just kind of throw them behind the cabinets where, you know, the kids or their pets can't get to them because they are poison. They are some kind of a trap. But they're little rice cakes, and roaches like that starch. So throw them behind the counter and see what goes on. But that's Rodoli.com. Oh, let me spell that for you. Redully.com. Redully.com. Now, my wife, I know this is all about my wife. Well, I mean, you know, we've been stuck in the house. There really hasn't been much going on. Nothing really extravagant going on. Nothing really, I didn't get into any conflicts when I went out shopping. I'll get into the shopping stores here in a little bit. So nothing really, I mean, other than the news and, you know, we kind of outside the news and the presidential race that's going on, we get outside of that. And here at the French, we just kind of, you know, easy like Sunday morning. We're just kind of hanging out and she's doing her thing and I'm doing our thing and wave to the neighbor kids now and then and, you know, pet their chickens and they pet our chickens and feed the horses. I mean, it's kind of, you know, we're taking ourselves out of the social media feed personally. Now, of course, with the podcast and stuff and DeaconLive, I've got to be involved with it. But something I do personally is we have a little, I have a side project. I have a deeper, darker conversations with IT Dan, and you can find those on ProfitRadio.com. It's called Is This Going Somewhere? And I talk to my IT guy, and we talk about, well, he's doing a lot of woodworking, so that kind of starts the conversation, and then we dive into politics, and we try to get a little, just try to make sense of it all, and that's Is This Going Somewhere? Over on the Profit Radio website. Now, going shopping, I do all the shopping here at the house. When I say shopping, I'm the one that I've said a million times. I drudge through the fields. I put on my mask. I watch everything that's going around. I try not to panic because I do get somewhat of an anxiety attack sometimes. But these right here, you know, I always look for, when I go shopping, back in the day, I used to sit there and I used to walk down every aisle and look at everything, see what's new, you know, in the little condiment aisle and then see what can I make with that. And I look at everything when I go grocery shopping. See all the different flavors of this. Ooh, they've got a new one of this. They got a new sauce for here, a new spice for this, a new recipe for this, a new cut of this. Now, your meats and all that stuff, that's all the same. I'm talking about down the aisles. I'm talking about, you know, the accoutrements that go with making your brisket if you're stuck in Texas. We do have briskets in the freezer, deep freezer. I have to break those out here soon. And you're always looking for something new, trying to change things up. And, of course, all the companies are coming out there. We talked about a couple of weeks ago about the macaroni and cheese that they're pushing on, you know, with the jalapeno sauce in it and all that. But my wife, she actually came home. she just had to do a little run. Oh, I need a couple things for a recipe that she's doing, and I forgot to tell you to get it. So she ran out. She dredged through the storm, and then she comes back, and she's got, like, all the little... I think she needed like dried oregano or something like that, and she grabbed a couple things. And I go, I thought you were just going for oregano. And she comes back with like 5 bags. You know how it is. And she's like, yeah, but look at this. And if you're watching this on the camera here, hold on, let me see, make sure I'm in full screen. She comes back in with Now, we've been making homemade salsa here at the French. Our garden, the tomatoes are going crazy. We can't jar them fast enough or can them fast enough. I've been making spaghetti sauce. I got my spaghetti sauce down to pasta fanguli or whatever my wife says because she's Italian. And, we jar it, vacuum seal it and do all the stuff. So I've got jars of salsa and jars of spaghetti sauce and then just frozen tomatoes and stuff. Anyway, so we're always, chips and salsa. So she got tired of the chips and salsa because, coming out of our ears. And she brought home this bag here. If you can see it on the camera, it's from Smartfood. Now, Smartfood, they've got it's a popcorn. For those of you who don't know overseas, Smartfood is a popcorn. It's supposed to be better for you. It's 100% this and 90% this and whatever. It's a bunch of crap. It's just flavored coating. But Smartfood has come out with, you see this right here? It's Captain Crunch Berry. Captain Crunch Berry is mixed in with the Smartfood popcorn. Well, there goes your diet if you just want to have a popcorn diet. And I took you can see the bag's still full. I only took a couple handfuls out. You can only eat so many. And I know some people out there would love this. It's the berries from the Captain Crunch, just the berries. The blue, the green, the red, the orange. The yellow, I think, is in there. But the popcorn's still the same. I thought the popcorn would be a Kettle one. You can see where my mind's at. A Kettle Pop. That sweet coating that you get from doing a Kettle Pop. Is it called Kettle Pop? You know what I'm talking about. Well, and I'm looking at the thing, but it's not. It's a salty popcorn with the sweet crunch berries in it, and that's fine. I understand that, but here's the funny part. At the very bottom, you probably cannot see this at all. Let's see if that'll focus. It says clearly. It literally says right here. Clearly, the product has been enlarged to show texture. It's like we're an idiot. Smartfood, point for you. It says right there. Clearly, the popcorn has been enlarged to show texture. And that's good. That's funny. No one really reads that stuff. I read it. Another cereal thing that's coming out. I'm surprised my wife didn't grab this one. Lucky Charms. You know Lucky Charms. And my wife will eat Lucky Charms like right out of the box. I could never eat like dried cereal. Ugh. Cereal lovers are going to have a treat. A bag full to be exact. General Mills is making marshmallow cereal Lucky Charms. Announced it will be having and selling marshmallow-only pouches of their leprechaun-themed cereals for a limited time. For a limited time, the magic will peak in the next coming weeks. And this was just released yesterday. Per press release, Lucky Charms, the magical Lucky Charms magical marshmallows. Well, that's a full sentence in itself. The magical marshmallows, the bag of, just marshmallows will cost $3.99. That's more than the friggin' cereal costs, depending on where you find it. Also, it will be in stores for an unspecific time. All 8 of the cereal's famous marshmallows are inside. So there you go. They're making also marshmallow pouches. Just marshmallows. No, I don't want the good stuff. I want the stuff that makes me bad and sick and all that stuff. Now, when you go shopping and you're looking for these marshmallow things, you worry about being sick. You worry about catching the coronavirus. Now, Microsoft News has listed the top 5 places right now that you thought that they weren't doing a good job, or just to put your mind at ease so you can go out there and go shopping and start getting back into a routine, start getting back into normalcy, the new normal, as everyone says. Walmart. More than 30% responded saying that Walmart is doing a good job responding to complications imposed by the Corona-19 virus Wave 4, which is a reflection of period of time between July 9th and July 12th. So this, of course, the articles come out a little bit later. They had to do all the research. For context, Wave 1, only 25% of participants said that the brand was handling the situation very well. So Walmart is actually getting a better response through the month of July than they were in the previous months. Now, CVS Pharmacy as well, the pharmacy does sell various fresh, pre-cut fruit and is dairy as well, and offers several healthy packaged food options. So if you just need to get in there and do something quick, it's less crowded. You're going to pay a premium price for it. It's like grocery shopping at the gas station. But CVS does carry somewhat of a, milk, eggs, cheese, some meat, some processed meat. But they have like 3 or 4 coolers there. Walgreens, exactly the same way. They're saying that Walgreens actually is somewhat safer going in there if you just need a couple items. Target is one of the first major chains to offer seniors hours only at the start of the pandemic to help ensure elderly customers will feel safe while they're shopping. So Target as well is getting a good rap for keeping everything clean, keeping everything wiped down, and they only let seniors in. I think it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, real early. But who the hell's up that early anyways? And then Kroger. Kroger itself, as of July 22nd, Kroger made it mandatory for all shoppers to wear masks while grocery shopping. So they are doing well and keeping everything safe and keeping everything. So those are your top 5. If you need to go out and get something, maybe consider these other little restaurants, these other little grocery stores that aren't so packed. I'm surprised that Walmart's in there. Bilo, Harris Teeter, Winn-Dixie, all them. They're not national chains. So most of these are national chains. So maybe they just did the national chains on that one. So they're going to feel a little safer. But, you can never be too safe. Just put on a mask. It's a scam, man. It's a scam. Man, I know. We've been through this before. Just the government says do it. Do it. Well, you're giving in to the man. Shut up. I want my goddamn smartfood Captain Crunchleberries. If I gotta wear a goddamn diaper on my head to go get it, I will wear a diaper on my head to go get it. Not that I'm gonna buy the goddamn Smartfood because it's disgusting. There goes that advertisement. But if I need to get something and that's the requirement, I'm doing it. All right, there you go. When we come back, we'll dive in a little bit more of the show. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, I got some home improvements hacking things when you're heating up food. It gets a little weird. And I got a question on how much DoorDash people make. When we come back, I'll dive into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. This segment's brought to you by Paranormal. Welcome back to Deacon Live. This segment's brought to you by Born Paranormal, A Liar Story, the new book by David Kiefer. He breaks the silence on the paranormal field. A private confidential investigator, David Kiefer, is looking to tell the whole world as it regards to the paranormal field in his new book titled Born Paranormal, A Liar Story. First in this new series. The experienced second-generation paranormal investigator talks about his ordeals with the paranormal field and how it's been able to overcome him with unique challenges he faces growing up. A thrilling memoir of how he wrestles the forces of good and evil, in which he tears his family apart or strengthens his existing bond. David Kiefer is a second-generation paranormal investigator and founder of the Kiefer Paranormal. Find David Kiefer's new book, Born Paranormal, A Liar Story, on Amazon.com and also on your Kindle. And it looks really good. I mean, I've always worried about, paranormal. Is there life after death? Is there something going on? I always worry about that. Not worry, but I always think about that. And, they always see pictures of, I'm a sucker for those pictures where the security camera in like a pawn shop and the little thing on the counter just moves by itself, like in a circle, like after hours, and they time lapse it and it moves by itself hours and hours. I'm a sucker for all those videos of the one hotel where the phone flips off the friggin' on the holder, off the hook. He's like, oh my God. Sometimes you think like fishing line and stuff is happening because, special effects today, kind of ruins everything. But I'm talking like old grainy black and white footage, security camera stuff. I will sit there and watch that, a blob. What was that? The Disney theme parks? The whole blob like went through the security camera through 3 different monitors. And, the guy walks between this monitor and goes to this camera screen. And it's just weird. I always go, whoa, man, there's something out there. There's something out there. And that's David Kiefer's new book, Born Paranormal, A Liar Story. And it talks about how he deals with his personal handlings of the paranormal field. You'll find him as well. There's something about animals that, you know, they're smart. They recognize each other. There's got to be some kind of process in their brain. I saw someone posted a meme the other day saying, you've named your dog. And by the way, today's National Dog Day or National Pet Dog Day or something like that. So make sure you post all your doggies, your puppies, your who's a good boy photos on the Facebook page. But you always, you know, you named your dog. All right, you are, you know, Duke. This is Duke, my dog Duke. You know, your pet dog. And then the meme says, well, what did your dog name you? And you're like going, well, would they name you? This is, you know, human A and human B, or I don't know. It's just a weird thought, especially if you're really, really high. Now, this guy has captured, he's made a video, what he thinks in his mind that two dogs, when they see each other, or just two animals, when they see each other, what they're saying to each other. And he's verbally expressing this. So hold on. Did I sure did. Give me a sec. I know. Sorry. One-man show here.
What?
So this guy's taking his dog for a walk, and during his walk, the dog sees a deer in the woods. And, you know, of course they recognize each other, and he kind of fills in the blanks as far as what the dog, he's doing like the little background commentary. So you can watch us here on the Under the Tent video. Go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the Deacon Live. For every podcast that we do, we have a matching video, so you can see all this stuff in real time as we're talking about it. And this is this is funny. I love this.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony! Fuck you, Tony! What's your name? Ezekiel! Fuck you, Ezekiel! Fuck you! Fuck you!
So this is just what they're talking, you know, what's your name? Tony. Oh, yeah? Fuck you, Tony. Hey, what's your name? Ezekiel. Hey, fuck you, Ezekiel.
Hey, you know what I did last night? You better not bring my mother into this.
You know what I did last night?
I built that fire over there.
I built that fire over there.
Oh! And I fucked your mother next to
Then I effed your mother next to her.
What?
So, I mean, there is some kind of conversation between animals, but, you know, who's to say that they're not actually saying that? You know, hey, what's your name? Fuck you, Tony. I think it's hilarious. It's funny. Now, something I'd like to ask is, how much do DoorDash people make? You know, what do they call them? Dashers? And the only reason why I'm asking is because I stopped at, I know, here we go. This was a couple of weeks ago. I'm just bringing it up now because I was so awed by what happened. I had to take the puppies, speaking of National Dog Day and stuff, had to take the puppies to their annual, you know, booster shots and all the stuff. And we have two bulldogs, big fat bulldogs. One weighs like 85 pounds. The other one's a little smaller. She's like the run of the litter. She weighs like 65 pounds, 68 pounds, somewhere around there. And both females, and they're alpha females, so they fight with each other all the time. But, you know, so I had to drop them off, and the veterinarian, you're not allowed to go inside, so you call, and they come out and get the dogs, and they use their own leashes and stuff. They don't want your leashes. And I said, you know, be careful. You know, they kind of, you know, around other people, they kind of want to demonstrate their dominance. So just be careful. Just, you know, keep an eye on them when they're, oh, okay, no problem. And they're always nice. Oh, I sure will. Oh, look at you, little poochie, you, and little poochie, you, and we're all going to have fun. And then I leave, and they, you know, the worst kids in the neighborhood. So I said, you know what, it's early. I went to there at 8 o'clock. I said, you know what, I'm going to go get breakfast. I haven't had my coffee. I haven't had my milk, not my milkshake, my smoothie that I have in the morning. So I said, you know what, I haven't been to Burger King in a long time. And, of course, around here in Marshville, there's not one close by. So I got to drive the next town over where the vet's at. And I go, oh, you know what, there's a Burger King. I love Burger King. Let's go to Burger King. Being from Florida, I love Burger King. So I walk into Burger King, and I say I walked into Burger King. I stopped and stayed in the parking lot for a second, and I'm looking around going, okay, is anyone inside? Is the lobby open? Is it open? Because everyone's going through the drive-thru, Finally, I see one guy go in. I'm like, all right, cool. Lobby's open. So I threw a mask on. You're sheep. Bah. You're sheep. No, shut up. I want some of their food. If I got to put that on to get the food, shut up. So I walk inside. As I'm walking inside, I always park far away, so I walk, burn the calories off. It must have been, oh man, I'm not one for cars, I don't oogle over cars, but this was a what they call in the business, I guess, a sweet ride. It must have been early, I say early, it's a brand new Dodge Challenger, not the Charger, the Challenger one, the muscle looking one with I think the Dukes of Hazzard had a Challenger. Wasn't it a Challenger in the Dukes of Hazzard? The new Dodge Challenger. It was white. It had purple, like lightning bolts on one side and black lightning bolts on the other side. Had the big rims, the big black rims to match everything. I'm like going, and you could hear it. I'm like, oh, I said, this is a nice car. This is a very fancy, nice car. High maintenance car, by all means. So as I'm walking up, I'm sitting in the parking lot watching people. All right, someone went in. They didn't get thrown out. Now it's my turn to go in. So I put my mask on and I'm walking by this car. Engine turns off because this car's sitting right there by the front door. Out of this car, huge, tall, massive, linebacker-looking guy. I'm talking, 6'4", 6'5", probably a good 250, 260 guy gets out of the car. Big dude. And I'm like going, oh my God, holy shit. Young kid, let me say young kid too, probably mid, if not early 20s. Looks like a college kid. I'm like going, what are you doing driving that? And who knows if he plays for any, UNC or any kind of college stuff. But he's a big football player guy. And, I walk up to the door and I open the door and, he, polite, go on in, sir, don't hit me. Big guy. He goes up to the counter. The lady, the Burger King employee behind the counter goes, DoorDash? He's like, yeah. And hands him a bag with the little sticker over the top of it so you can't eat the fries on the way over there. And then he walks out. The bag probably it was small. You ever rolled down a bag with food in it and you could tell there's not really, maybe a hamburger and fries in there, so the bag's really, really little. So he walks out and I'm like going, this guy's the DoorDash guy in that car? Holy Jesus, how much are these kids making? How much are they making on this friggin' DoorDash thing? So, not for nothing, I was like, God almighty. But he had his mask on. He had the rubber gloves on his hands. He was doing the whole thing, and he's got a nice Challenger car to show for it. But I was just like, holy mackerel, can you imagine? And I looked it up online. In the Charlotte area, they average about $14 per hour. And is that tax-free? Is the DoorDash, they say DoorDash, you get $2 to $10 depending on the distance you have to travel. Well, to my house, it'd probably be like $15 to go get it. You pay $12 and then another $15 on top of it. Jesus, these kids are making a killing. And then you can write off all your gas. You can write off everything that you buy, your gloves, your mask, your clothes, whatever you need to do for DoorDash. But, there you go. This kid was driving. Now, I don't know. Like I said, he looked like a football linebacker. So he must have something going on, professional-wise. Professional sports-wise is what I'm saying, not anything illegal. I don't know. He's a big dude. They call him the Crippler. But he's getting through life. He's doing his thing during this pandemic and stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that we need to do, and something that saves us a lot is watching TV to get through this pandemic. We're trying to survive. We're trying to get along. We're shagging up with each other after like 3 or 4 dates. My wife's walking around with friggin' daycare schmutz on their shirts all day long. I can't let her do that. I make her change it now. Now she's self-conscious about it. And when we come back, there's a show that I think started this whole thing off, and what better way to bookend this whole thing, this whole pandemic. Hopefully this'll be the thing that ends it all, and once this is released, hopefully we can all get back to the new norm. And I'll get into that here in just 1 second. Let you guys get back to what you got to do. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
The show. The reason Universal's getting a lot more people in the parks is Disney's requiring reservations to get into the parks, and you can't get them. And the way you can get them most of the time is if you're an annual pass holder or have a resort stay visit. Universal just allows people to go in, and they're keeping the numbers down.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Make sure you go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, and click on the social contacts and connect us to you and you to us, and do all the stuff that makes us part of your life and you're part of us. We appreciate each and every one of you for doing that as well. Now, this whole pandemic thing started, back in January, February, somewhere around there. And they said, everyone's going to be home for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right? What did everyone do? They ran right to the Netflix. All right, I'm getting caught up on Netflix. Netflix is great. And what show was everyone talking about? They were talking about the goddamn Joe Exotic. And then, it was like you plant a seed and then watch that seed grow. Hey, have you seen Joe Exotic? Have you seen Tiger Kingdom? Have you seen all that stuff? Tiger King, not Tiger Kingdom. How do we say that? And they should do a movie. They should do whatever. They should do a series. They should do something. We want more Joe Exotic. And then they brought back a small one-off episode with Joe McHale. He talks to the actual people after the show, because they recorded the show like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. They talked to all the characters that were on the show, and what's his name got brand new teeth, and he's not gay anymore. He's dating some cashier that was at the place. Well, step up, I guess. And the other guy was working for auto mechanic. Another guy got sober. Joe Exotic still in jail. And the girl or whatever didn't. I think she declined the interview and stuff. But now, everyone said, oh, they should do a movie. They have now. You ask and you shall receive. Joe Exotic. Hold on. It's official. Joe Exotic It's official. Joe Exotic starring Kate McKinney from Saturday Night Live. She was the weird one in the I almost said Stormtroopers. Ghostbusters remake. She was the weird nerdy one in the Ghostbusters remake. She has now been cast to do Carol Baskin. And listen to this.
Drama starring Kate McKinnon as Carol Baskin has been formally ordered to series and will air as a cross-platform venture on NBC, USA Network, and streamer Peacock. The rollout for this series starring McKinnon is an example of how, moving forward, NBC Universal is trying to optimize its portfolio and get the most eyeballs on programming in an increasingly cluttered landscape. A premiere date for the 8-episode drama has not yet been determined. Also unclear is just how the cross-platform rollout will work. The limited series titled Joe Exotic is based on the Wondery podcast of the same name. The role of Joe Exotic, who America got to know in the wildly popular Netflix docuseries Tiger King, has not yet been cast for this limited series. Nicolas Cage will play the part in a different scripted series. The drama series starring McKinnon as Baskin is based on true events following the big cat enthusiast as she learns that fellow exotic animal lover Joe Exotic is breeding and using his big cats for profit. So she sets out to shut down his venture, inciting a quickly escalating rivalry. But Carol has a checkered past of her own. For more on this story, head to THR.com. For the Hollywood Reporter News, I'm Tiffany Taylor.
There you go. So they're bringing back Joe Exotic. They're doing a little eight-part series. So I guess they're going to walk through fictionally.
Here are today's top stories. First, a pro-Trump Russiagate documentary is in the works from the daughter of a Hollywood legend. The Hollywood Reporter can exclusively reveal that Amanda Milius, daughter of legendary screenwriter,
they're going to write a script. Hey, and it's going to be like not a mockuseries or mockumentary, but it's going to be, a reenactment, I guess, is what it is. So that's coming out. Let's see. Does it say? Let's see. Tiger Kingdom. Nope, doesn't say when it's coming out. But keep your eyes and ears peeled for that on NBC, USA, and the Peacock, the new network that the live streaming series that they have on NBC Universal. All right. On that note, I'll let you guys get back to what you got to do. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening to us, download us, being part of the show. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio.com. Click on social networks and social contacts, and you can follow us on all your live streaming platforms. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for, I'll let you guys get back to what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night, and good night.
Wait, come back! This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Nothing was going on. Nothing was going on in my life. Anything exciting? Normally I have like a catastrophist. Oh, you know what? At the end of this video, we'll put my wife's we'll do a link to that somehow. All right. Thanks. Take care.